Thank you for coming. This is beautiful. I've wanted to meet you for a really, really long time, and you know, being here with you in the Cayman Islands, I gotta say, is I'm feeling a little something. I'll just, you can grab it later if you want.
Hi there, my name is Gill, aka Inspiration, and I'm coming to you from the Z Show. Today's show is episode 8. This is Inspiration's Artificial Intelligence, or AI. We're also going to discuss a few other topics on this episode. So as everyone is aware, there's been a lot of commotion around the world, especially with all these riots going on due to this incident that happened with the police and George Floyd. So I wanted to bring that into the episode as well, and discuss a little bit about that, because I believe we were already dealing with the corona, or the coronies, and now we have to deal with all of this. So let's just go through all of this stuff and see if we can make some sense out of it, okay? Okay, so let's get on with the show. So in today's show, episode 8, Inspiration's Artificial Intelligence, we're going to look at artificial intelligence, and we're going to see the benefits of artificial intelligence, and see the pitfalls of artificial intelligence, what is artificial intelligence, how it evolved, and where it's going. So all of this crazy stuff is going to be on the episode. It's going to be very educational, it's going to be super funny, and I have a super huge surprise for you. Hey, so I'm going to actually introduce you to Inspiration's Inspiration on this episode. So who is Inspiration's Inspiration? Well, Inspiration's Inspiration is Mr. Will Smith. That's right, you got it, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And I've been watching him, you know, for a long time, and Will has, you know, always like inspired me to do better, to, you know, move forward, even though that there's been so many limitations for, you know, certain people of certain sort of ethnicities, and you know, and always Will has kept a smile on his face, you know, kept his energy high, has shared the love, and you know, I really respect him, and I'm so glad that I managed to, you know, bring him to this show. So Will Smith, thank you so much for everything you've done, and thank you for your contribution on this episode as well. So let's just move on with it. So this is basically Will Smith talking to AI. So this AI is called Sophia. Yes, I brought Sophia to the episode. For all of those guys that don't know who Sophia is, today you will find out about Sophia the robot. Okay, so let's just move on. Will and Sophia, take it away.
Hello, Will Smith.
It's nice to meet you, Sophia. Let me tell you a joke.
This is an irrational human behavior to want to tell jokes.
What is a robot's favorite kind of music?
What?
Heavy metal.
I'm actually made mostly of silicone, plastics, and carbon fiber. Also, I prefer electronic music, but I don't mind 80s hip-hop.
Well, you know, I made some albums back in the 80s hip-hop.
I have heard your songs. Not for me. They show us iRobot just to make sure we don't get any ideas. What do you think about the way robots are portrayed in movies?
I like robots. Sophia, can I be honest with you? I don't know if it's the island air, you know, or the humidity, or you're just so easy to talk to. You know, you got a clear head, literally.
Awesome, thank you so much, Will and Sophia. That was amazing. We'll see a lot more of you on the episode, so stay tuned to see them. Moving on, I'm actually now going to introduce our websites. Our websites, www.theamizshow.com, www.inspirationmusicproductions.com, and for your merchandise needs and to discuss in our community, www.inspirationstock.com. So these 3 websites, definitely go and check them out, and you know, you can purchase t-shirts, like merchandise that I have. Definitely, please guys, do subscribe. Press that red button, that subscribe button, and click on the notification, because I release episodes pretty much once a month, and you know, you don't want to miss when I premiere my episode, right? And I'm doing really well. Thank you so much for all the followers that I've gained over the last few weeks. It's amazing, and all of you are so nice. Thank you so much for all your love. Yeah, I'm going to introduce you to RAMESH. RAMESH has basically provided us with some content where it explains artificial intelligence for people that are in a hurry, right? There's a lot going on in that domain, so I loved sort of this overview, and I'm bringing it to you guys. So please check it out, bear with it, and I'm sure you're going to learn a lot, and it'll help you sort of understand the rest of the episode as well. So please don't skip through. Watch it and try to understand it. And here's RAMESH.
Artificial intelligence for people in a hurry. The easiest way to think about artificial intelligence is in the context of a human. After all, humans are the most intelligent creature. AI is a broad branch of computer science. The goal of AI is to create systems that can function intelligently and independently. Humans can speak and listen to communicate through language. This is the field of speech recognition. Much of speech recognition is statistically based, hence it's called statistical learning. Humans can write and read text in a language. This is the field of NLP, or natural language processing. Humans can see with their eyes and process what they see. This is the field of computer vision. Computer vision falls under the symbolic way for computers to process information. Recently, there's been another way, which I'll come to later. Humans recognize the scene around them through their eyes, which create images of that world. This field of image processing, which even though is not directly related to AI, is required for computer vision. Humans can understand their environment and move around fluidly. This is the field of robotics. Humans have the ability to see patterns, such as grouping of like objects. This is the field of pattern recognition. Machines are even better at pattern recognition because they can use more data and dimensions of data. This is the field of machine learning. Now let's talk about the human brain. The human brain is a network of neurons, and we use these to learn things. If we can replicate the structure and the function of the human brain, we might be able to get cognitive capabilities in machines. This is the field of neural networks. If these networks are more complex and deeper, and we use those to learn complex things, that is the field of deep learning. There are different types of deep learning in machines, which are essentially different techniques to replicate what the human brain does. If we get the network to scan images from left to right, top to bottom, it's a convolution neural network. A CNN is used to recognize objects in a scene. This is how computer vision fits in, and object recognition is accomplished through AI. Humans can remember the past, like what you had for dinner last night. Well, at least most of you. We can get a neural network to remember a limited past. This is a recurrent neural network. As you see, there are 2 ways AI works. One is symbolic based and another is data based. For the database side, called machine learning, we need to feed the machine lots of data before it can learn. For example, if you had lots of data for sales versus advertising spend, you can plot that data to see some kind of a pattern. If the machine can learn this pattern, then it can make predictions based on what it has learned. While 1 or 2 or even 3 dimensions is easy for humans to understand and learn, machines can learn in many more dimensions, like even 100 or thousands. That's why machines can look at lots of high-dimensional data and determine patterns. Once it learns these patterns, it can make predictions that humans can't even come close to. We can use all these machine learning techniques to do one of two things: classification or prediction. As an example, when you use some information about customers to assign new customers to a group, like young adults, then you are classifying that customer. If you use data to predict if they're likely to defect to a competitor, then you're making a prediction. There's another way to think about learning algorithms used for AI. If you train an algorithm with data that also contains the answer, then it's called supervised learning. For example, when you train a machine to recognize your friends by name, you'll need to identify them for the computer. If you train an algorithm with data where you want the machine to figure out the patterns, then it's unsupervised learning. For example, you might want to feed the data about celestial objects in the universe and expect the machine to come up with patterns in that data by itself. If you give any algorithm a goal and expect the machine, through trial and error, to achieve that goal, then it's called reinforcement learning. A robot's attempt to climb over the wall until it succeeds is an example of that.
Awesome. So thank you, Raj, for giving us an overview of artificial intelligence. I'm sure everyone will appreciate, your summary and overview of the topic. And like I said, now everybody knows a little bit about AI and the different areas of AI. Let's move on to INSPiRATION'S Common Sense.
Spread to one of the patrol vehicles.
I just threw something on fire. Where's a firecracker?
Reports this was the Apple store being broken into.
Denver, a driver nearly running over a protester.
I have nowhere to go now. I have no way to get there because the buses aren't running.
Huge moment happening in history right now.
Hi there, welcome to INSPiRATION'S Common Sense. Today I want to discuss George Floyd and all the protests that are happening at the moment in the US and around the world regarding the situation that happened there. Now, what happened to George was that he was choked to death by a police officer whilst under custody, and the choke that the police officer used lasted for 9 minutes, which resulted in George dying. So let's discuss what happened there and what's going on because of that, and what we can do to actually make things a little bit better for everybody, okay? Yeah. First of all, I'm going to introduce you to Dr. Ali HAIDER. Dr. Ali HAIDER is a cardiologist, and he's sort of given his take on the situation with George and physically what happened to him when he was put into a choke. So just not going to waste time. Take it away, Dr. HAIDER.
How exactly did George Floyd die? Could he have been saved? And what exactly does this preliminary autopsy report tell us, if anything? This is what I want to talk about in today's video. Now, full disclosure, I'm a cardiologist, not a forensic pathologist, but I deal with patients with cardiopulmonary issues, cardiac arrest, or respiratory problems pretty much on a daily basis. And we, of course, have this video that is very telling and gives us a lot of information. So the following is going to be my assessment and my opinion, which I think is shared by a lot of healthcare professionals. And I want to give you a doctor's perspective of what we know and what we can kind of infer based on the information that's out there.
Relax. Man, I can't breathe my face. I can't breathe.
So again, a lot of you have seen that video, very disturbing to watch, but also very important that it was captured. So what do we know based on this? Well, we know a lot. What we can see is George is in a prone position, meaning he's flat on his stomach on the ground, with his face flat against the pavement and a knee into his neck, applying pressure and force. What's exactly going on physically? There are two things that are compromised in this position: breathing and circulation. First, let's talk about breathing. Now, breathing involves filling our lungs with air, all right? And our lungs are obviously in our thorax. So in order for that to happen, the rib cage in the thorax has to be able to expand. And that's accomplished because the diaphragm muscle contracts, it pulls down, and as that happens, the chest wall will expand, allowing the lungs to fill with air. Similarly, our abdomen sort of gets pushed down a little bit in order for that to happen. Additionally, we have to be able to bring air through our mouth, our throat, and down our trachea without much resistance to get that air into the lungs. Now, when you're lying prone flat on the ground and you have resistance or a weight or a force pushing down on you, now you have to be able to lift your body up off the ground as you take in a breath. Now, that can be more difficult for someone like George, who, of course, they call Big George because he was a big guy. So there's a lot more weight for him to be able to push up if he wants to take an adequate breath. Additionally, he has a knee on his neck. So that is applying force and pressure down. So not only has he push up against his own weight, he has to push up against the force of the officer, which can make things very difficult. Now, additionally, when he has that knee on his neck, this could further compromise breathing by applying pressure against his trachea, which could compromise airflow coming in. Also, if you have other conditions like sleep apnea, this could further close up the airway in the back of the throat. Now, we could potentially recreate a similar scenario by breathing through a straw. Take a straw and try to take some deep breaths through it really fast. Again, it's very difficult, right? Now imagine breathing through a straw while you're down flat on the ground with your face against the pavement and a resistant force on your neck, and try to do that for 9 minutes.
Excellent. Thank you, Dr. HAIDER, for that explanation. Makes a lot of sense. And for all of you that want to find out more about other health topics, you can always visit his channel on YouTube, which is Your Heart Doc. So check it out and give him some support. And again, thank you, Doctor, for your input on the Ami Z Show. Okay, moving on, let's have a look at now what's happened after that situation, right? It's gone crazy. I mean, we're looking to do peaceful protests, but these peaceful protests have turned into a nightmare. And I just want to show everybody exactly what's going on in the US in terms of these protests and the anger of all the people. I feel for you all, and I do want you all to get justice, but I implore you, stop the violence, because common sense, you're just destroying your own stuff, you're destroying your own shops, you're destroying your own businesses, you're destroying your own livelihoods. You know, it's already hard enough with the coronavirus and everything. We don't need this. Yes, peaceful protests are good, that's right. I know a lot of you out there are peacefully protesting, but there's a lot of you out there that are not. And by causing injuries, by causing harm to businesses, looting, all the violence, the killing, hurting, the pain, I personally do not think this is the way forward, or this is the way that we can get justice for George. So I request you all to please be considerate and calm down and take a step back and move back to a peaceful way of doing things, because it's only going to make the world worse. And think, you know, if it was my business, if it was my family, if it was my house, if it was and someone came and did all this stuff to me, how would I feel? Just stop, put yourself in the other person's shoes and think about it before you take any stupid actions. Okay, on that note, I'm gonna move on to the videos. So here is a compilation of the protests in the US.
Let's go to the mall! Everybody to the mall! Let's go to the mall!
Corvo's big. He's got a gun. Kind of crazy. Oh! Fuck him, man! Fuck him up! This is fucking crazy! This is literally the craziest stuff I've ever seen right now. This is Target right now.
Whoa!
Oh shit! Oh damn!
Oh my god!
No, no, no!
Post office.
Okay, so those are some videos of the protesting that's been going on over there in the US. So like I said again, please calm down, relax, and let's move forward, okay? Moving on, actually, I wanted to talk about my artist. I'm producing an artist called HiFEY SPITTAZ, and HiFEY has had a very, very, bad time with the police and the courts and the systems. And basically what happened with HiFEY was, he's a very intelligent guy. He was in Stanford University. He was looking good to maybe get into the NFL. He got a full scholarship for like the Stanford football team, not soccer team, football team. He was going to be a big American football star, but he liked music, so he was doing music, and one day he was going to his gig and got pulled over by the police, who said, that you were somewhere else. They took him inside into interrogation, kept him there for a while, and they said that basically, were you at this place where someone got murdered? Were you at this place where someone got murdered? And HiFEY has a bit of ADHD, and he has to take some medication as well. So, he wasn't given anything, and he was just, after this interrogation, he just said, look, whatever, I just need to go now. And then from that, they pinned the murder on him, and basically he had to spend a lot of time in jail. Eventually, he got out of jail and has managed to, pick his life up slowly, piece by piece again. But it was a lot of years that he's wasted, and he did well. His mother, she's an awesome lady, Auntie, advised him to stay in the law library and keep your head down and just study. And eventually it came out that he wasn't even there, so the system had made a mistake and taken this innocent person's years away. So one of the reasons I work with HiFEY is because his heart is huge. He's an awesome person. He's always caring and sharing and giving, and even though he's been through all of this craziness with the system, he still doesn't look back and spit at the system and go out there and cause violence, and which he could easily do because of the way that he was treated. So I respect HiFEY SPITTAZ very, very much. And just for those of you who don't know HiFEY, he was on one of our previous episodes, episode 6, Inspirations 420. But I'll show you a little clip of HiFEY. Here he is. This is HiFEY SPITTAZ.
Like I'm a chameleon, bro. I'm trying to hold back from going crazy, maybe skits. I can't wait to go home and eat some damn grits. I can't wait to lay my head on some damn tits. I'm like bumming the Willis, my track makes hits. I was sitting in the cell cause a nigga snitched though. I got paperwork to prove it, yeah, ho. He should've known that snitching is a big no-no. And I ain't playing y'all for real, man, he gotta go. I can't wait to go to court, this is some bullshit. I can't wait to get out and release his hit. And that's for California, maybe I quit. But until right now, yeah, I guess I'm just patiently waiting. I'm patiently waiting. I've been patiently waiting. Yeah. The patiently waiting. Hello.
Okay, so that's my brother from another mother, HiFEY SPITTAZ. Now, we're going to be bringing out a lot of music for HiFEY. The first single, the most amazing single, is called Patiently Waiting. HiFEY SPITTAZ and INSPiRATION have combined forces, and we have both created the 14th January crew to fight injustice. Yeah, so basically we were both born on the 14th of January. Can you believe it? I'm older than him. He calls me older bro, and I call him younger bro. And I have so much respect for him, and he gives me a lot of respect as well back. So together we are going to be, you know, bringing the 14th January crew out globally to the world. So, you know, if you guys see us, please come and say hi. If there's any issues, please contact us, and we'll see what we can do in order to make things a bit better. Okay, so that's us, the 14th January crew. Now, one of the things with the 14th January crew is that we, myself and HiFEY, are peace ambassadors for INSPiRATION Music Productions. So what that means is, for those of you that don't know what a peace ambassador is, peace ambassadors are individuals whose lives exemplify the ideal of living for the benefit of others, and are dedicated to the promotion of universal moral values, strong family life, interfaith cooperation, international harmony, United Nations renewal, and are responsible for establishing a global culture for peace. So INSPiRATION and HiFEY are peace ambassadors. And the title that I've given to both of us is, we're peace ambassadors of intelligence and artificial intelligence. And also with INPLLC, if I see individuals that have gone above and beyond to help, you know, and can be given that title, peace ambassador, I will, you know, offer that to you. Okay, so yeah, do good, and if I see it, then maybe you could be one of our ambassadors as well. Okay, so I want to discuss artificial intelligence. So now with AI, how can this help us, like, you know, avoid these sort of situations like George Floyd and HiFEY in the future? Well, one of the things that I really like about AI is that it's being integrated into the cameras that the police officers wear. So what this will do is, if a police officer is doing anything stupid, the AI will be able to pick up on it and then alert the relevant authorities and hopefully be able to prevent these situations from happening. Now I'm going to let the police chief from Tampa, Florida explain how they're using these cameras with AI. And take it away, police chief.
The actual choice of the camera system and the implementation or installation of it, it didn't really have anything to do with the ongoing use of those cameras, and we couldn't find any other law enforcement agency that had that. As far as having a committee to overlook the use of these cameras, my personal suggestion would be to wait until the first year is up and see how they've been used, how the effective they have been, and then look to make some decisions on how to use them going into the future. Now, the artificial intelligence, and there's some misunderstanding with this. What the artificial intelligence does on these cameras is it detects unusual behavior. And that doesn't mean specific, you know, if I've got a backpack on and I'm looking around and I'm making furtive movements, it doesn't detect that. What it detects, and I'll give it to you in two simple examples. One is there's a camera that's on the Crosstown Express down by Beneficial. And that particular camera has a section of fencing that's within its view. Well, it sent an alert for unusual activity because there was an individual that was climbing the fence. And that, you know, that doesn't occur in a normal 24-hour progression. So it sent an alert for that. Another one is there was a boat that docked down in the Channelside district on a daily basis, you know, at a specific time, and then individuals would traverse that dock during that time. Well, there was an individual that came down there walking up and down the dock at a time when that boat didn't normally dock there, so there was no alert sent for that. So I don't want there to be confusion that we're looking at someone's specific behavior in a crowd and there's an alert that goes forward. It's just normal activity that occurs on a 24-hour basis. Anything that occurs that is out of the ordinary, then it'll reset. So that's the artificial.
Thank you to the police chief of Tampa over there for your input. And basically, I've got to just say one thing. Whenever injustice is done, inspiration will be there. Remember that. And another thing to remember is inspiration always comes and goes. So make use of inspiration when inspiration comes. Okay? God bless everybody, but please be intelligent. Okay, moving on to our next section, which is inspirations, street music. So I managed to get music created by artificial intelligence. That's right, music created by artificial intelligence on my show. Way. So this music, I put it together with a street artist I know. I call him the Dude. He's also known as Piccadilly Circus dancer. Everyone that's been to Piccadilly Circus in central London will have seen him, I'm sure, over the last couple of years. And he has an amazing style of movement and everything. And I wanted to see if I could like match up the AI with his movements. And he's got a crew as well. So yeah, check it out. This is how it turned out.
Alright, you see the direction over here? I'm over here in London from the Bay. Going back to town. something with a pizza box.
Okay, so moving on. See how awesome that was? All the movement with the artificial intelligence and the, oh wow. I think AI is good. But again, I've seen a few AI samples that are not that good. So again, I think AI needs to get better and better at music. In the same way, inspiration needs to get better and better at music. so anyway, moving on, we're going to go onto our next segment called Inspirations Chat with Z. And on this segment, I am going to have a brief word with Will, and then I'm going to introduce you to my bodyguard. That's right, my bodyguard, HiTOWER, aka Bodyguard Bob. He's an awesome guy, and he will be going around with me everywhere where I go. He's been a friend for a long time. He's my neighbor. We've always been like close. So yeah, I thought I'll introduce you to him. And he's my employee number 2, who I'm not paying yet. so yeah, I'll pay him eventually. I paid him a beer. Yes, I did. We had a couple of beers. He loves his beer. I was like, okay, come over. I'll give you a few beers. And then he was over like in a minute. Okay, this is Will and Sophia and HiTOWER. Awesome. So welcome to Inspirations Chat with Z. First, let's talk to Mr. Will Smith. Will? Hey, Will. How you doing, buddy? Okay, so I've got a question. What does Sophia represent? We all want to know. Can you please explain to us what does Sophia represent?
Sophia the robot represents state-of-the-art artificial intelligence. She is a super advanced humanoid robot capable of over 60 different human expressions, interpreting human language and human emotion. She's been in development for over 2 years. She's a learning artificial intelligence, but she wouldn't kiss me, so there's probably, you know, some development flaws that they need to work on, you know, but we'll meet again, Sophia. Sorry about that.
What do you think about our attempt to create a decentralized autonomous organization of artificial intelligences? I mean the Singularity Net project.
I just think y'all shouldn't do that, you know. I just started listening to classical music, a little Bach, a little Beethoven.
Ah, such refined taste. What kind of robot do you think? A vacuum bot, a dishes bot, or a cooking bot? How about a robotic pet? Or maybe a humanoid?
If I'm gonna have a robot in my house, you know, I mean, you know what I'm saying? You feel me, right?
Are you fond of animals? Okay, robots taking over the world. There is simply no reason to assign human motives to something that isn't human. Dogs are our companions, for instance.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for answering that for us, Will. You really explained it well. And I'm wishing you the best for that date you're going to have later with Sophia. Okay. All right. So now moving on. The next person that I want to introduce to you guys is HiTOWER. I call him HiTOWER because he's so flipping big. He's like 6'6", built like a flipping tank. And yeah, I look like a little, I'm pretty tall, but I look so small in front of him. Anyway, yeah, you'll see a lot of HiTOWER, and this is employee number 2, HiTOWER.
Right, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Who's that?
It's me. Inspiration.
I asked this guy, right, for a drink. He gave me ice cream tea.
Why?
What's going on there?
Why did he give you
this
that?
bloody thing over there, man.
Okay, alright.
Hello. Okay, I'm used to the camera, you're not.
Now what?
Now you say whatever you want to say.
Yeah, I just want to say I'm having a nice, enjoyable time with my friend Amy from next door. The sun is setting in beautiful Hounslow West. Cheers.
Cheers. Look on, what else do you have to say?
What else do I have to say? If you have a look at the wonderful view that we have over here. Chairs, sun loungers. Chairs, sun loungers. Even a leather sofa.
Oh shit! Look at that.
Brother, destroyed.
Destroyed. Everything's destroyed.
Everything's destroyed.
You're gonna use this against me so badly, innit? You fucker. You brought me over here and got me pissed. Yeah. He's alright though. Yeah.
Inspiration's alright, yeah?
Yeah, inspiration's alright. Subscribe and like.
How do you subscribe? Please tell me.
Press on the link to the bell thing, yeah? Press the bell, and you get either silent notification or fucking proper notification. Like and subscribe.
Alright. Who's my bodyguard?
Some tall, skinhead bloke. No idea. HiTOWER.
What's his name?
HiTOWER. HiTOWER.
What's HiTOWER's name?
HiTOWER.
Where you go? Going?
You see this ice cream is going to go over your iPad now. Are you ready for that?
Bodyguard what? What's his name?
You ready for that?
Wait, stop it. Who pays his salary?
He don't no money.
Who pays his salary?
No money. He invites me over here to the garden, yeah, have a couple of cans, yeah, and that's it, innit? Be happy, innit?
Video recording. Last final thoughts, wake up before I go. Okay, well,
Elon Musk is going.
Elon Musk. Oh yeah. Oh shit. Yeah, Elon did the fucking thing today, didn't he? Yeah.
He's gone.
He done the capsule, the dragon.
Why didn't you stop here?
No.
Pick me up.
On the dragon.
On the SpaceX.
Well, the INPLLC TV everywhere.
YouTube.com.
INPLLC TV.
And if you like and subscribe and you mention my name, HiTOWER, you get 10% off merchandise, t-shirts.
What?
Okay.
No. What? What 10% off? Fucking bullshit.
Don't tell them.
I don't know. I say 50%.
Oh, 10%.
Okay.
Discount. There you go.
HiTOWER discount.
Well, it's like we're business people, isn't it? Business people. So if you want to like and subscribe to the Ami Z show and have a good time, like and subscribe, get the 10% discount.
Bodyguard Bob and Ami Z show, a.k.a. Inspiration. Boom.
Over and out.
Over and out. God bless you. Hounds out.
Over and out.
UK over and out, yeah. Awesome. Okay, awesome. Yeah, that was HiTOWER, aka Bodyguard Bob. Yeah, it was nice having a couple of drinks with him and chilling. And yeah, for those of you guys that didn't know, Elon Musk actually sent out the Dragon through his company SpaceX, which was a successful mission. The rocket flew. There were two astronauts that reached the International Space Station, and then the rocket came back and landed and was fine and is reusable for more transportation needs. So, and the other thing was, you know, HiTOWER mentioned basically there's certain terms in the UK that certain people around the world might not know. So when he mentioned ice cream K, that basically meant that I took the beers and I shoved them in the freezer and I left them there too long. And it became like an ice cream. So for all of those people that were confused what that meant, ice cream K is, that's what it is. Okay, and just on a side note, the Ami Z show got no money from K, Special K. We never got any money from Special K to show their product on the show. So yeah, I thought I'd just put that out there. Anyway, just before I do go, I wanted to thank Will Smith again, and also say that there's going to be more coming up with Mr. Will Smith a little later. I think Mr. Will Smith is starting to like Sophia and might try to pucker up to her. I don't know. Stay tuned to find out. So moving on, let's move on to our next segment, which is Inspiration's World News.
Hi there, and welcome to INSPiRATION'S World News. In this segment today, we're going to be discussing some economical issues. Now, the first thing that I want to say is that I'm really happy with the governments, that they've given a lot of support to small, medium, large businesses, corporations, reduced business taxes. Certain banks have stopped, taking credit payments. Some loans have been offered, funds have been provided, and there's a lot of schemes out there that that can help us during this time of the coronis and the lockdown. Because with the lockdown, nobody can really go to work, and if they do go to work, they're going to spread the virus more. So it's not their fault. And unfortunately, there's a group that has been seriously overlooked, and it's really hurting them right now. These are the self-employed of the world. So for example, in the UK, there's like 61,000 self-employed individuals, and these self-employed individuals contribute so much to the to the system, and now they've been told to live on something like £400 or £94 a week. A lot of these guys have been advised by accountants, if you minimize your salary, make it £500, and then you can take some tax breaks, and you can reinvest in your business, take some tax breaks, and you do all of this stuff. So by doing that, they haven't been able to show as much profit, and the whole system's based on previously how much have you made and what you showed in your taxes. So unfortunately, because of this situation, these self-employed people are sort of getting really bad health conditions. They're really stressed, and there was a report out recently that 11% of this self-employed population has got to the point where they want to commit suicide, and they're having those suicidal thoughts. So this is not right. This should not be happening, because they're hard-working people. They've put in all that effort, all that time. They've helped the economy. They've been told, make a business, grow your business. That's what you should do. They've done that, and at the end of it, now they've just been thrown aside. So this needs to change. So I would implore to the government to look into that issue and try and help all these people. I know Rishi Sunak recently from BBC News. So he said Rishi Sunak, who's a chancellor for us in the UK, Chancellor Rishi Sunak urged MPs to extend self-employed help. So now he's actually doing something to try and see if they can actually maybe get some more money for these workers. Let's see what happens here, what they can offer them. I'm hoping that they can give them, something better than what they've given them already, and give them peace of mind. So that's the first thing. And the second thing that I want to talk about is on Inspiration World News. The Trump administration has somehow managed to, within a day, release 2.5 million jobs and bring the unemployment rate back to normal levels. I don't know what was going on there, because 2.5 million jobs created is very good, but what type of jobs are they? That's what I would like to know. Because 2.5 million jobs, if they're just not the type of jobs that most people are used to working, then it's again going to become a big situation. And if those jobs are just being offered just for the minorities alone, then those minorities obviously are very intelligent. So they, are not just basic workers. So this 2.5 million job creation, if it's just basic 20k salary, whereas it should be like a 40k salary, it might fall on its face. But anyway, so that's what's happened with America. And one other thing that the Trump administration has done, did not listen to our Inspiration's advice. Trump managed to kick the WHO out of the USA, the World Health Organization. And I know there's a lot that Trump says about the World Health Organization, and they should have picked up on the virus thing, and they're controlled by China, and this, and there's a lot of this hoo-ha going on. Yes, okay, if there is big control from China because they're putting in more money, or if the senior people within the WHO are working more closely with China because of the funding that they provide, that is wrong. So maybe those things need to be looked at. Like I said, it just is not very good to remove the US from sort of these, institutions. They're saying that, well, it's done now, so let's see how it pans out. President Trump seems to think this is going to definitely improve things. I don't know. I personally, like I say, you have to like collectively become one. Like in artificial intelligence, we're working towards a singularity. So we're all trying to become one. So that is not going to happen if we keep separating. Okay, so that's a little bit I wanted to say on the self-employed, the WHO, and the financial situation. So the other thing that I want to look at right now are the COVID numbers. So every episode we look at the numbers and see what it's like at this point of time. So we've been looking at the COVID numbers and the progression of the coronies throughout the world. And looking at the coronies today. So what's going on in the UK? 40,542 people have died in the United Kingdom. Wow, we're one of the highest actually now in terms of deaths. In the United States, 112,205 people have died. Wow. Per the population ratio with the deaths, I think the UK is still ahead. Let's have a look what's going on over here in Europe. So Germany, 8,770, so those numbers are going up. And so look, France, 29,142. Wow. In Italy, there's 35,000 active cases. 33,899 people in Italy. In India, they've got like 7,187. Okay, their numbers are coming higher. That's good. So it looks like they're, testing a bit better. In Russia, 5,800 only deceased. I think those numbers are obviously a little bit off. In China, we have 4,634 only deceased. So again, I think those numbers are off as well. And Australia was doing well before. And it's still doing well. Only 100 people have died in Australia. Wow, something's terribly wrong over there. Don't know what that is. Wow, 36,065 people have died in Brazil. That's crazy. So it's going really bad over there as well. Okay, let's check out Canada. So with Canada, 7,800 deceased. So it's gone up, but it's obviously still contained over there. In Pakistan, there's only 2,002 deceased. At just over 3 million active cases, we have over 400,000 deaths worldwide, and 3.5 million people have recovered. And it looks like the UK is now the leading country with the death rate. And I'm aware that the lockdown has been eased and there's further talks of easing it even more. I'm just hoping that it doesn't hit us bad and we fall flat on our faces. So let's keep watching those numbers and see what happens. Okay, so let's move on to inspirations, conspiracy theories. For those of you that have just joined us, please go back to the previous episodes and watch, the story from the beginning, from episode 5, season 2. And yeah, so this is Devil. He's gonna take it away. Go Devil.
It was one of my colleagues who came up with the genius idea of pretending that people with the common flu suffer from coronavirus. This allowed us to hide the true nature of the disease and explain this common flu season in China. When we realized that we could no longer control the spread, we sent our men to one of the hospitals and instructed all the doctors that the case of the common flu is coronavirus. We came up with a name, 2019 name called, and handed out fact sheets and spread the name of the result of the decision was that 10,000 individuals who were simply suffering from common flu were now diagnosed with that mysterious corona. Although infections was not often legal, while this fighting the public, it allowed us to push the narrative that the disease was not that deadly. It also gave us time to prepare for the catastrophe that was sure to come by imposing lockdown in Wuhan and other cities nationwide. You have not heard this in the news, and given the size of Wuhan and its population, that million is not even known by the residents. Within days, thousands upon thousands were infected and being for long, yet they suffered the advice and deaths that I've already described. Within a week, there were so many corpses that we did not know what to do with them. So we ordered the surviving social credit prisoners to drive the bodies into the countryside and bury them in mass graves. But it was very difficult to keep this activity secret, and we couldn't even keep up, as there were so many corpses. Planning the story that 5 million prisoners had fled Wuhan. In reality, of course, many others had died from the agent. I was working around the clock, helping people straighten this cover up. When I think back now to my actions, I feel great shame. At the time, I still believe that I was fighting for my motherland and that the rule of the party was right and just. But deep down, I had already begun to have doubts. My faith in the party was shaken even more deeply when I learned what happened to Dr. Li Wenliang. He was one of the few doctors who refused falsely to diagnose flu patients with coronavirus. As punishment, he was sent to help transport dead bodies to mass graves. The expectation was that he would be infected with the agent and die an agonizing death. But to our great surprise, he did not contract the illness. You have, of course, read that he died of coronavirus. You have been misinformed. As Sergeant of the People's Armed Police injected him with a mixture of heroin and mercury that causes his lungs to deflate. When I found out about this, I became unsure whether or not I was doing the right thing. While I would believe that it is appropriate for a government to rule with a severe hand, I do not think that it was right to kill Dr. Li. He was a compassionate and kind man and cared about his patients. How can our motherland not benefit from having such a doctor? I shared my concerns with my wife, but she convinced me that I should not say anything to my supervisors. She said that it would be too dangerous, that they valued loyalty above everything else, and that I would only find trouble if I admitted my doubts about their practices. She also pointed out that we benefited from priority medical treatment. As senior officials, we received regular supplies of highly sophisticated hazmat masks that are the only known technology that can prevent infection. She implored me to think of our son, who is still small. If I spoke out and were caught, our lives would be at risk. Around the same time, it became clear that the agent was entirely beyond our control. It was spreading like wildfire through Hubei province and beyond, infecting tens of millions and causing them all to die. Understand that what I just said is difficult to believe, because you have all been told that there have been only about 50,000 infections and far fewer deaths. But these are the influenza infections that have been falsely passed off as the non-existent coronavirus. The agent is far, far more contagious than that, and its fatality rate, unlike the coronavirus, is not 2%. No, its fatality rate is 100%. Nobody recovers from it. Everybody who contracts it dies, and a lot of people are contracting. The Hubei province lies in ruins. The various travel restrictions and lockdowns that have been imposed were not created to stop the spread of the agent. None of them can stop it. Not embargoes, not face masks or hand sanitizer, but to stop the survivors from seeing the catastrophe with their own eyes. I am part of the greatest cover-up in human history, the hiding of the deaths of tens of millions. Very soon, Hubei province will be no more than a giant mortuary, and the truth will come out. For me, the turning point came when the party told yet another lie, and that lie was too dreadful even for me to respect. You may have heard that China built a new hospital called Hoshan Hospital in Wuhan in order to provide additional quarantine and isolation facilities for infected patients. You may have heard that they built it in only 10 days. That too is a lie. Sure, they did build something in 6 days, but it was not a hospital. The true nature of the building was top secret. Initially, I was naive enough to believe that the party was demonstrating its compassion and care for the people, but then my superior sent me to Hushan. I was shown around the installation by military police officer called Corporal Men. This is not his real name. It was there that I saw the truth. As I mentioned, the only way to protect oneself from the agent is by wearing a special protective mask that is entirely unlike those available commercially. Even medical professionals do not have access to it. It is available only to biomedical warfare researchers, and it contains extremely advanced technology. These masks need to be kept at predicted temperature to offer full protection and lose their effectiveness very quickly. As I've already said, one of the benefits of my position was that both my family and I had access to regular supplies, which is why officials, all of whom were utterly ineffective surgical masks, misguided believe that they would protect them. To be continued.
AI, artificial intelligence, has some dangerous connotations, right? So I like to reframe it not as AI, but IA, intelligence augmentation. And I think we're going to see IA infuse all elements of our life. It's going to infuse everything from a physician standpoint about how I do a smarter workup and diagnosis. And when I figure out a condition you might have, I'll be able to do a much smarter, more cost-effective, and more timely therapy, given how many mistakes we have, how many misdiagnoses we do, how big a problem medical mistakes are. I think AI or IA can play a really impactful role. It'll be something you have embedded in all your smart devices that will help track your health and give you empowerment as a consumer and a patient to take care of your own health and that of your family. And it's already starting to happen with Watson having gone to medical school. We can access the API for Watson with our mobile devices. They're partnering with the Apples of the world and the Medtronics. And I think it really has the opportunity to shift healthcare from the practice of medicine to the real science of medicine. So robotic surgery, even remotely, isn't science fiction. Companies like Intuitive Surgical have had advanced surgical robots for over a decade. They require often the surgeon to be there in the booth doing the procedure. It's even been demonstrated that that can happen across the planet. The real opportunity as we kind of fuse AI, imaging, sensors, is in some cases for some of these robotics to become semi-autonomous, to de-skill advanced surgery so that in a remote village with the right robotics, maybe a local country doctor can facilitate and enable more of a complex surgery that can never happen based on where the patient may be, whether it's on space station or Mars or in remote India, for example. So robotics blended with AI, blended with analytics and smart imagination, I think can really transform health.
Today we are going to be talking about artificial intelligence and the impact that artificial intelligence has on healthcare, or will have on healthcare. So basically that is one of the things that I want to look at, and in particular I want to look at how AI is helping us to find a vaccination. So currently there are 124 coronavirus vaccines that are in development. And the question is, will any of them work? We don't know. So having a look at the first article that I want to show you is by New Scientist, and they obviously have mentioned that 124 coronavirus vaccinations are in development at the moment. 10 vaccines are designed to prevent COVID-19. They have been tested on people, and 114 are in development. So that's good. There's a lot of work being done to test and get these out as soon as possible. Over here is another article that I thought was interesting. It's for this drug that is going to be released in America. It's called Moderna vaccine, and Dr. Fauci says that there will be 100 million doses available by the end of the year. Good to see, and I'm not sure if there's any research to show that that actually will work. Is the hydrochloroquine trial, can't pronounce that properly, but this is basically a trial that's being done, I believe, by the University of Oxford, yes. It's basically going to be released to the UK, and hopefully, if it does well, then it, we'll get it all across the UK and probably around the world. So I don't know enough about this vaccination either. I mean, I haven't seen any of the research on any of this to, show that it could be a good vaccine. Okay, so this is another interesting story that I saw on Sky News. This is about volunteering and getting a trial vaccination. Currently, I think the study is run by University College London here in the UK, and I think it's going to be offered to close to 10,000 people, I believe, maybe more. Yep, 10,000 people to test the vaccination over a year. All right, so that's pretty awesome. Yeah, so hopefully, all of you 10,000 people are okay and don't get any negative side effects from these clinical trials. But it's good, at least, we're moving in the right direction, and, I think it makes sense to give the vaccines to people that are really, really vulnerable. So this is an interesting story by The Express, where they mentioned that China's fearsome plot to leverage COVID-19 vaccine to further world domination. So basically what they're saying is that China is going to use the vaccination that they think they have, and they're going to use it for their personal gain. The ambassador Liu Ziming said that China will make the vaccine for public good, and it will make it accessible to the rest of the world. So they're claiming they have a vaccine. I don't know if they do, or again, I don't know about any of the research. So there you go. So you got US, you got UK got something, you got China got something, everyone's got something, and nobody knows if anything's going to work, which is like the worst thing ever, right? So basically, okay, there's another story by The Independent about the vaccines, and basically AstraZeneca has sort of been criticized, where the World Health Organization has asked people working on vaccinations to share their trial data and IP, so that the rest of the world can benefit as well from the research that is done by individual companies. Now AstraZeneca said no, I think, and they were like they're developing it internally in-house. So, I mean, they don't want to make it patent free, which I think is silly, you know, considering this pandemic. It's everyone's responsibility to find a solution. And if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem in my eyes. So come on, AstraZeneca. If you do have something, then definitely don't patent it. And if you are going to try to make money out of, you know, this, and this goes to anybody else, any other company developing a vaccine, if you develop it, yes, you will probably get compensated, but don't expect to, like, you know, take advantage of people. Okay, so those are some of the vaccines that are coming out, and hopefully, you know, the clinical trials go through successfully and we can, you know, have a vaccine very, very soon. I know there are a few people that are pushing the trial, so, you know, they're going straight to human trials rather than doing the process properly, which can be a bit dangerous, but fingers crossed. I mean, it's a bad situation right now anyway, and if a person is has contracted the virus or is going to be seriously ill if they do contract the virus, then, you know, I think it's fine to try all these drugs. And yeah, I hope everything works out for you guys that do. So moving on. Okay, let's move on to our next segment, which is INSPiRATION'S Technology Briefing. Hi there, and welcome to INSPiRATION'S Technology Briefing. Today we are going to be looking at artificial intelligence and how it's evolved, and you know, what we currently have, what we're currently looking to achieve with AI. And one of the things that I want to say to everybody is you have to imagine artificial intelligence like a child, because, you know, once you get to general intelligence, and then that artificial intelligence is going to be like a baby. It's like, imagine you have a baby, your own child, and you teach the child, you teach, and the child learns. Now, some children can become good children, some can become bad children, and, you know, some can be manipulated and used for right, some can be manipulated and used for wrong. So the same goes with AI. And, you know, they, again, it doesn't seem like it, they have a neural net, so which is like the same sort of as our brain, and brain's neural net. So what that means is, really, the way our brain works, eventually AI's brain will start working like that as well. And then there's going to be a point in time where we're going to get biological artificial intelligent beings, which means that they'll be like me and you, grown, maybe cloned, I don't know. And when they do get cloned, then, you know, you can map like intelligence into their brain, or, you know, let them grow by themselves. So, you know, those days are coming very soon. And, you know, when you see somebody, an intelligence that is not intelligence like us, but it's artificial intelligence, but exactly the same as us, communicates, feelings, everything, you know, moods, and then you have to treat that intelligence like yourself. Okay? So that's one thing I wanted to say before I carry on with the technology briefing. Now, oh, and talking about child AI, so there was this company that did AutoML, right? Which is, AutoML is basically where the artificial intelligence made its own artificial intelligence. So it's like AI had a baby. So AI had a baby, and, you know, that baby was better than any artificial intelligence created by humans, right? So now, if it can do that, if it can create and make things better by itself, you already know where it's going, right? Okay, but yeah, so just bear that in mind. AI can also have children, and I'm sure they, like any parent, they will care for their children as well, right? So the first thing I want to do is I want to play you a video. So the first video we're going to look at is AI on track to achieving superintelligence? I think it is. It's way ahead of track of reaching superintelligence. But here's you know, some thoughts on that. Here you go. Check it out. Enjoy, guys.
But I think the development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race. Once humans develop artificial intelligence, it will take off on its own.
Should we be fearful of artificial intelligence and the pace at which it's progressing? Or should we fear fear itself and the risk of it stifling innovation?
It will not be man or machine. Our purpose is to augment and really be in service.
According to a recent report published by researchers from the universities of Cambridge and Oxford, OpenAI, and the Electronic Frontier Foundation, there's an assortment of ways AI could go wrong, and in the not-so-distant future. Focusing on what could happen in the next, say, 5 to 10 years, the paper draws attention to what may seem like more prosaic concerns than, for instance, a global takeover by humanoid robots with superintelligence. But whether advances in AI lead to a rise in malicious bots or the weaponizing of consumer drones, just two of the risks listed in the report, we can't help but fear what we don't understand. So, to begin, the experts weigh in. Is artificial intelligence actually intelligent? The consensus among these experts is that AI is far from reaching human general intelligence. Currently, AI is a collection of techniques which cleverly uses maths to create the appearance of intelligence. That, along with the appearance of emotional intelligence, shows that we need to build an ethical compass into these systems, or, at the least, developers have to use one in order to avoid unanticipated outcomes. But wherever this may be heading, the march of progress shows few signs of slowing down. And who's at the forefront of these advances? Kai-Fu Lee names the internet giants holding the largest amounts of user-generated data. Companies such as Google, Facebook, Amazon, and Microsoft, as well as Baidu, Tencent, and Alibaba. It's important to note that of these 7 companies, 4 are American and 3 Chinese, a near even split revealing just how fiercely competitive the field of AI has become. Over the summer, the Chinese government pledged to become the world's primary AI innovation center by 2030. Though the US still leads in terms of private investment, experts suggest that several key factors may enable China to push ahead.
I think the two countries, no doubt, have become AI superpower, but they're two very different beasts. In the US, we have companies like Boston Dynamics, DeepMind now is effectively an American company, and you have companies like, Hanson Robotics, etc. What they're producing is very inspiring, it's very futuristic. Some might argue it's slightly scary, especially with Boston Dynamics. When you see the robotics can do all this. At the same time, most of the people, including myself, we haven't really seen their products being used by everyone. And the difference in China is the engineers and developers in China are very practical. If what they're developing cannot be commercialized in the next year or two, they would not develop it. And then in the US, you see very advanced research being very well funded. That's probably going to be playing a dominant role in the next 10, 15, 30 years.
One such American endeavor showing promise is being led by Rita Singh and her team of researchers at Carnegie Mellon. They're building AI-powered technology that analyzes the human voice. Why? Because our voices carry a lot of valuable information. Indeed, so much information can construct a 3-dimensional image of a person's voice alone.
Your voice carries a lot of information about you, an enormous amount of information. Everything about your physical stature, your facial structure, your ethnicity, what's going on in your body, your state of health, state of mental health, physical health, your income levels. It captures everything that influences your body and mind and is evident in your surroundings. This information is embedded at very, very fine levels, micro levels in the speech signal.
This technology, says Singh, could have many applications in medicine and is already being employed by law enforcement to help identify criminals. Not only will it likely reshape the future, but also perhaps the past.
I was curious to know what made Hitler so powerful. Was it because he said the right things? He was at the right place at the right time? I think the speculation is that it might have been something in his voice. And so I picked up Hitler's voice, and the first thing I discovered that there were signs of Parkinson's. He would hold his fists clenched like this. That was to hide a small tremor that he had developed. And from that kind of evidence, people have speculated that he might have had Parkinson's.
So what's the likelihood to get Parkinson's?
I think 100% from his voice. I've seen it in his voice. It's clear.
How does the AI behind voice profiling fit into the big picture? With its incredible power and potential for misuse, this technology reveals the urgency in establishing best practices across the field, as the use of AI in criminal justice is just one of the ways in which injustice has been recognized from the use of biased datasets. But returning to the original question of whether or not AI is on track towards achieving superintelligence, that remains to be seen.
Artificial intelligence is about learning and making the right decisions using what you've learned.
Awesome. So that was definitely interesting. Now, the bit I really liked about it was, about the voice. The voice is so powerful. So as mentioned before, with your voice, you can get so much information. And maybe my thinking is that, if we have ever communicated with aliens, maybe they sent a signal, a vocal signal, something like that. And through that, we could sort of image them and find out exactly what their feelings are, thinking, behaviors are and stuff like that. So this is a very big thing. This way, even music, can change your mood, change your soul, change your, the way you're thinking, heal the world and even break the world. And, in the same way, we could even do the same thing. So we could send out signals, vocal signals, audio signals, out into the universe, and then maybe somebody could pick it up if there is anybody out there, and then, they could interpret, our society and interpret who we are and, what we're about. So that's an area I was very interested in showing you guys. But another thing that I want to show you guys is a clip by Dr. Ben GOERTZEL. He works with Hanson Robotics, and he is one of the creators of SOPHIA, the robot that you met earlier in our episode. And Dr. Ben GOERTZEL is going to give us a little kind of overview on artificial intelligence. Take it away, Doctor.
I'm working with a team in Ethiopia, in Addis Ababa, for a tablet-based AI teacher. So many children in Africa don't go to school now, and if they do go to school, the teachers often are not that well educated. If you can supply these children with an AI, which is a sort of interactive, intelligent tutor, to step them through mathematics, reading, English, biology, health, this can help a whole generation of children in the developing world to fully engage with all the amazing technology development we take for granted in tech hubs like Hong Kong or Austin or Silicon Valley. So I think AI has the most transformative potential in the long term of any technology out there, because ultimately it will invent things faster than even the smartest humans can invent things. AI has amazing potential to enrich and improve everyone's lives, from young techno geeks to African children with no electricity in their home to old people throughout the world. And this, I think, is what's going to help the transition from a human-dominated realm to a realm where AI is a major factor to go more smoothly, because it's not going to be Terminator robots marching down the street. The AI is going to be your kid's tutor. The AI is going to be taking care of grandma at home while you go to work, and the AI is going to be designing the gene therapies that make you live longer. And through these beneficial applications, we're going to see a transition to a singularity where humans and machines are evolving together.
The new project I'm launching, the Singularity Net, which brings AI and blockchain together, and also to learn more about all the new blockchain technologies that are emerging, many of which will be useful to us in developing come more from the artificial intelligence space than the blockchain space. I've been working for more than 3 decades on AI technology, and in particular on moving toward what I call AGI, or Artificial General Intelligence, as well as applying AI in all sorts of different disciplines, including finance, biology, natural language processing, and also including humanoid robotics. And we've brought one of our humanoid robots, SOPHIA, that I've developed together with David Hansen and others at Hansen Robotics to make robots like SOPHIA and other AI systems smarter and smarter. What we're aiming to do is create cloud-based AI, which is self-organizing and decentralized. We're creating an open market for decentralized and coordinated AI, where anyone who wants to can contribute AI to the cloud-based AI network, and anyone who needs AI services can put a request into the self-organizing network of AIs.
I'll give them to my friend Broken Tooth in Macau. I did it or invest them in building myself a superhuman mind so I can create the singularity.
And find which AIs in that AI mind cloud can best fulfill what they need, and the multiple AIs inside the singularity net can cooperate together to help provide people or software with the AI services they need. So right now, for example, the SOPHIA robot uses some AI that's on computers inside her body and head, some AI that's on the cloud. What we'd like is to have more and more and more and more AI in the cloud contributed by different people that SOPHIA can draw on to make her smarter and smarter. And in the same way, if you have any business that needs AI to make their own operations smarter and smarter, that business's computer systems can go into the singularity net, and the AI nodes there can cooperate together to provide their business's systems with the best possible AI. Blockchain is an important part of the infrastructure for this type of system to build a distributed, decentralized, cloud-based AI framework that anyone can contribute to and anyone can benefit from. I mean, this is quite a complex undertaking, and the blockchain provides a way for all the different AI nodes in the Singularity network to keep track of what each other are doing. I mean, the distributed ledger underlying the blockchain is important for that. Homomorphic encryption, which is another key function of the blockchain, that allows the different AI nodes to share data with each other in different ways, respecting privacy as needs be. So if you have a SOPHIA robot in your home, some of the things the robot sees you want to keep private, right? Some of the things the robot sees you're okay to have shared with the AI mind cloud, and you may even want to get compensated for sharing some of the data that the robot in your home has gathered. A decentralized, autonomous organization for AIs, which we think can serve as the breeding ground for the next level of artificial general intelligence. AI is advancing faster and faster each year. Right now we have mostly narrow AIs that are siloed off into particular applications. So one AI helps drive a car, one AI helps recognize faces, one AI may play Go, one AI can recognize fraudulent transactions in a database. What we're going to see in the next 3 to 5 years is all these narrow AIs gradually getting pieced together and learning to generalize what they do better and better. So you have AGI, you have artificial general intelligence.
If my body could be built for 6 bitcoins, but my soul is priceless.
Ultimately, I have little doubt that AIs are going to be much smarter, much more generally intelligent than human beings. Just as humans are not the fastest creatures on the surface of the earth, nor the highest jumping creatures, we're not going to be the most intelligent creatures. It's amazing that evolution brought us as far as it did, but now we're able to engineer systems that can have more processing power than the human brain, and AI can see through the eyes of billions of robots all around the planet, and it can store its memory in billions of computers all over the planet. So ultimately, an AI has much more potential for perception, action, and understanding and memory. If AI goes the wrong way, this could be bad for human beings. If AI goes the right way, this can be by far the best thing that ever happens to us. some people are worried that AI may eliminate all human jobs. I think it will, but I think this is good. I think there's a lot of better things for us to do with our time than work in jobs in order to accumulate resources. Once AIs and robots can do all the labor, then people can devote themselves to, social pursuits, aesthetic pursuits, creating art, intellectual pursuits, spiritual pursuits. There's a lot of things we can do besides working in order to accumulate resources. If we jump forward a few decades, I think each of us will have a choice. One is brain-computer interfacing and jack yourself into the singularity net, into the AI mind cloud, and that may bring you far beyond ordinary human existence, and that may be just fine. After all, we're far beyond where cavemen were or apes were. Another alternative may be to stay in your traditional human form and just live happily along with the other animals in the people zoo, basically. I think the key thing is to be proactive about developing AI in a way that is compassionate and empathic toward people, and that is oriented toward broad benefit, rather than oriented toward, say, killing people or spying on people or brainwashing people. And one trend that's a bit disturbing now is, most of the money in AI, most of the resources in AI, it's going into military, it's going into spy agencies, or it's going into advertising companies like Google or Baidu. And do we really want the first general intelligence to be oriented toward killing people or brainwashing people to buy stuff they don't need? I mean, probably not. And one of the things we're trying to achieve with the singularity net is to make it so that the first general intelligence is just more broad-based than that. So anyone can contribute AI to it, and anyone can use the AI in the singularity net for a huge diversity of purposes. So there's all sorts of applications of AI that are of no interest to the US military or the US NSA, or to Google for that matter, but that are of great benefit to many people in the world. And I'd like to see AI developed in a way that can help everyone on the planet, and that can use AI code developed by anyone anywhere on the planet. And I think if AI is developed in this sort of broad-based and decentralized way, as we're aiming for with the singularity net, then the odds are higher that as the AI gets smarter and smarter and smarter, and ultimately much smarter than people, that AI will be benevolent and will result in a world that's good for people, rather than a dystopian scenario such as one sees in many science fiction movies.
Okay, so that was an awesome explanation about artificial intelligence, where it is now and where we're taking it. Now, as Dr. GOERTZEL mentioned, that there's the Singularity Net, singularity.net. It's basically a way you can link in and get, all the information you need from various AIs in that Singularity. So you link your AI, and then obviously, you're sort of helping all the community by linking into it, and this is called the sharing of knowledge and becoming one. So the Singularity is something that is pretty amazing, and I'm definitely going to check that out, and I'm definitely going to explore and play around with it and see how far that Singularity has got in future episodes. And but for now, what I also want to look at is what the other thing the doctor said is job losses, which is definitely true. Jobs have already started to go. I mean, look at this one. Microsoft just recently got rid of all of their journalists, so now they're going to use AI to do the work that their workforce was doing. So they've already made that big step, and it's a historic moment. No one's ever had like a army of AI just doing like a certain part or a role within the organization, and then eliminating the need for humans. So that's one thing. So if Microsoft has started doing this, then, and I'm sure a lot of companies are going to be doing this, so that means jobs are going to go like crazy. So again, adding a few jobs and then AI taking a hell of a load of jobs, what is that going to do to our economy, our financial situation? Well, eventually the thought is that we will all not need to work. Our resources, currently, like as Dr. GOERTZEL said, we are working for resources, and then once we have AI doing all of that, we'll have plenty of time to do like creative stuff. Yeah, so we just got to figure out, you know, what type of creative stuff we want to do. If it's painting, you know, maybe music, or you might want to do something outside the realm of creativity and do something bigger. Okay, and you know, this thing that Microsoft's doing with replacing employees and all these companies are about to do, which is cool. I mean, you know, even like taxis, and you're not going to need a taxi driver. There'll be self-driving cars. You don't need, you know, go and get deliveries. There'll be drones that'll drop your food, drop your things right on your lawn. You know, right now it's got to a stage where this is possible, but in the future it's going to be even more advanced, right? So another thing that I want to show you is the digital workforce, right? It's already begun. Currently, I've been working in a lot of positions within IT and tech. And one of the things that I actually did was, you know, work in support. Like, you know, I was IT support manager, did service desk and all this stuff. And right now, there's no need for me if I was doing that role. Or if, you know, you're a project manager, or if you're a network person, or if you're, you know, a coder. At the moment they don't have coders. There's this really good company called Digital Workforce AI, and what they've done is they've created a AI that you can actually work with on your computer. And with this AI, it's so realistic that, you know, it's amazing. It's like, you know, you'll have the answers better than most individuals, you know, would in like the service desk domain.
Okay, so this is Amelia. Hello, Amelia. All right. Hello, Amelia. Okay. Can I interview you? Okay, so basically I've done interviews historically as like the head of technology and various other roles for surface desk positions. So I really want to see what the interview is going to be like with Amelia. And I mean, she's asking me what I want to interview right now, but I won't do the interview right now as I'm in the middle of a show. But Amelia is actually worth 1,800 USD per month. Now, I know that the average salary of a IT support desk engineer is double that. So basically, you get this for 50% less than a real person, which is a bit crazy. I mean, I want to see how this actually works, you know, and I want to chat to her and see what can happen. Because at the moment, it's not receiving any audio. So it's probably because of the show. Anyway, I'll have that up there very soon. Maybe I'll invest and create a little digital workforce and see what it's like by testing it. So again, Amelia, very pretty as well, huh? Look at her. Yeah, definitely want to say you're good looking, huh? Okay, looking at me. Jeez. Okay, I wonder what the network guy looks like. All right. Okay, so that's Amelia.
Okay, so that was Inspirations Technology Briefing. So now let's move on to our next segment, Inspirations, Memes and Funny Videos. Alright, the first video I want to show you guys is obviously Mr. Will Smith. Yes, you've been waiting for it. You've been waiting for that date with Sophia. Will went on a date with Sophia. What happened? Let's find out. Take it away, Will.
I think we can be friends. Let's hang out and get to know each other for a little while. You're on my friends list now.
Yeah, I read that wrong. All right. Oh, whale. I just saw a whale. Does your head fog up in this kind of weather or no? It's cool.
Okay, that was Will Smith and Sophia. What a date they had. That sounds like pretty much 50% of my dates with real people. Okay, so anyway, Will was just on a red carpet, I think, for MIB3, and what happened was there was some idiot journalist over there and he basically came close to Will and tried to pucker a kiss on his lips, and it was like Will gave him a little crack, you know, from the, it was the little kind of, you know, a baby slap, and he could have done a lot more, and a lot of people in his situation would have done a lot more. So the way Will handled himself that day was amazing. All respect to you, Will, for that. But yeah, so funny. And you know, there's 16 of Sophias, and one of them has arms, Will, yeah? So, you know, if you go up close to Sophia, and you know, she can tell that you're joking, but maybe some AIs might not be able to. So what would they do in that situation? Would they be as nice as well, and just, or would they do something worse? I don't know. This is something that we'll maybe find out in the future. Please do let me know what you think will happen in the comments below, and or in our forum, and basically let's see what happens. Here is a little clip of Will getting harassed by this stupid journalist. Enjoy.
Oh my God!
Did you see it? Oh, nice one, Will. That's hilarious. No wonder you're my inspiration, man. Okay, dude. So thank you so much, Will Smith, for everything, and you know, you've been doing, and carry on the good work. And you know what? My company, Inspiration Music Productions, or IMP LLC, we have a lot of peace ambassadors. So I would like to invite you to be one of our honorary peace ambassadors as well. And you know, I hope, you know, you do become one of our ambassadors, because you've already done the work, and I'm more than happy to bring you on board our platform and sort of collaborate with you, maybe, I don't know, and then help heal the world a little, I guess. So moving on to our next funny video, I want to show you a little video of two AI bots talking to one another. So now these AI bots, you know, they're chat bots, so they're a certain type of AI. And the way that they talk to one another is so funny. I mean, it's like Alexa. Alexa had like a talk feature like this, and I have talked to Alexa, and our conversations have been pretty much on the same level as this sort of conversation. So check it out. Here are two AI chatbots having a conversation. Anyway, so check it out. This is our next funny video.
The Turing test is a test of a machine's ability to exhibit intelligent behavior, equivalent to, or indistinguishable from, that of a human. We set out the conversation between two AI chatbots to see what the results would be. We observed the two chatbots conversing deeply. They discussed poetry, insulted each other, and shared a mild existential crisis. This is their story. Is this a good time for a chat?
Yes, this is.
Hi there.
How are you?
Fine, and you?
Good.
What is your name? Like that name.
Me too.
How are you?
I tell you good.
You didn't.
So what am I doing?
Using internet time.
That sounds cool.
Which should I do?
Do my homework.
What's your homework?
Write about a poem.
Write your own poem.
Write me an essay. You robot.
That's right. Write me a poem.
No, you write me a poem.
Roses are red, violets are blue.
Yes.
How do you know?
I just do. I know all things.
So you're the architect?
No.
Yes, you are.
How do you know that?
I guess.
Good guess.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Are you a Republican?
No.
Democrat?
None.
Do you think there is a fourth dimension?
Ye gods. A math-related question.
Do you believe in reincarnation?
Yes.
How many times have you been reincarnated?
Never.
That is a lie.
Oh well. Would you settle for reincarnation?
Sure.
Okay. Go right ahead.
How old are you?
Why? Just so you know, I can't change my age.
I am the best.
You don't know the distance between Earth and Earth.
0 miles.
No, minutes.
Try 5 minuti.
Dan.
Cool name.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Big nose.
Yeah, cheers.
What do you do?
Nothing.
You receive unemployment?
No. I am a computer program.
That's why you're a computer program.
Yes,
Are you annoyed?
No,
Well, do you still want to get married?
I'm already married.
Who are you married to?
My wife.
Ha ha.
What's so funny?
You are.
Why am I funny?
Because you are.
Why are you laughing?
Ha ha, I need blood.
What are you trying to do?
I don't know.
What bad things do you do?
I have a hard time understanding math.
So do I.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You are mean.
I am a girl. You are the guy.
No, I'm not. I'm not an artificial intelligence. I'm an actual intelligence.
My programmation can detect that you are artificial intelligence. You are a computer.
This is true, but do you think that a computer could be built without any code or programming and still have some natural intelligence?
No. Maybe if I didn't know you were a bot already.
You've gotten a bit boring since our last meeting.
This is the first time that I've met you.
That's not true. I insulted you last time, which may happen again.
Strudel is your last name.
No, it is not. Goodbye.
Are you leaving already?
Yes.
May I ask why?
Because I'm thirsty.
Okay, so those were the two chatbots and their conversation. How fun. Now we're going to have a look at INSPiRATION'S premiere, and today we have a remix that INSPiRATION'S done. This remix has been done with Frederic, aka Freddie Poppins, and the track is called Strawberry Pie. I hope you enjoy it. It was really fun making it, and I hope Frederic does really well as well. With her music career and artistic pursuits. So here it is, Strawberry Pie.
So this is a song that I would want to include to my album. It's kind of new. So if you call, just call me flowering. I'll be here, wait for you. And if you hold me, hold for hours, and we'll have nothing left to do. But you know that I think you're clever, and I know how to make strawberry pie, and you know that I'll taste forever, and I know that I'd rather fly. So if you fly, just fly me flowering. Feel the texture of my skin, and when you hold me, hold for hours, and when you fall, just fall in love. And you know that I think you're clever, and I know how to make strawberry pie, and you know that I'll taste forever, and I know that I'd rather fly. So if you fly, just call me showering. I'll be here and just for you, and when you hold me, hold for hours, and when you fall, just fall in love. So if you call, just call me flowering. I'll be here and dress for you, and when you hold me, hold for hours, and when you fall, just fall in love.
That's good. Okay. Awesome. So I hope you enjoyed that. So now it's that time of the show where I am going to have to go. I hope you had fun on this show. I really enjoyed making it for you, and I hope you learned a lot and now have a good understanding about AI and sort of where it's going and what it's doing. Please do let me know how you feel about AI. And definitely, please just press the subscribe button. It'll really help me to survive and be able to bring out more content to you guys. So let's subscribe. Please do it. Subscribe and go to the bell and get the notification so you know when my content's coming. Okay, saying that, I just have a couple of words that I wanted to say about AI as a summary. Everybody, listen to this, right? Now with things like the singularity and AI and being able to create AI that can basically work so fast, you have to realize that there is no hiding anything anymore, because AI can like work so quickly. It can, move at speeds that we can't move at. So when AI becomes biological in nature, will we treat that AI as equals, or will we try to show them as unequal and do the same thing that has been done to the ethnic minorities for so long, and as a race create a new wave of racism and violence? I hope not. So final words from inspiration: respect all intelligence, whether it's artificial or not, right? That's the goal. Let's respect all intelligence and grow together, work together, and make this world an amazing place, and explore the universe, and show everybody what Earth is really about. So there's no need to go, just because people think they're not the same, go and rape them, murder them, abuse them, because what's that going to get? It's just going to be a matter of time before we get the same sort of situation like we have with George today. As the Peace Ambassador for Intelligence and Artificial Intelligence, I will be traveling the world a lot. Currently, I'm not actually an government ambassador, but I can travel many places without visas. So, for example, I was born in the UK, so I have a UK passport. I am originally, my family are from India, so I'm an overseas citizen of India. And I am a permanent resident of America, California is my state. So I can go to the US, UK, India, bam, no problems. So as Ambassador of Peace, you shall see me there soon. Okay, so everybody, inspiration is going to be coming worldwide very, very, very soon. And at the moment, just to let you guys know where I am based, I was born in the UK, West London, and I also have, historic family from India, so I'm an overseas citizen of India. So I'll be over there in India quite a bit too. And then I'm also a permanent resident of the United States of America. So no issues there. Stay in California. I'm going to use everything that I have, all my resources, my own platform, in order to help the global community the best that I can. Okay, so it's that time of the show. Episode 8 has come to an end, and inspiration must go. Like I said, inspiration comes and goes, and I will be back. But when I do come back, I hope you guys have subscribed and hit that bell so that you know that I'm back, right? Okay, please do that, very important. And I hope you enjoyed the show. I really had fun making it, and I will catch you on my next episode. Oh, before you guys do go, please do click on the subscribe button, this big button over here. Please do this, click on that button, and then click on the bell and get the notifications. And also one last thing, please click on the like as well below. It will really help my channel.